If you're foolish enough to believe every one of them Facebook ads that you see out there that's trying to grab every penny they can out of your wallet, then go ahead and be sold by them fancy pictures. If you want the real deal and you want a real service with real results, then just pay attention to crawlspaceartist.com. Hey guys, Tanner here, and I'm getting ready to take you guys on a full tour of a brand new drainage project that we're just finishing up here in Anatole. And I want to take you guys through just real quick a few of the things that my buddy Jeff is experiencing problems with. And let me just step out here in the road real quick, guys, and what you'll notice real fast is all of this is running uphill. All of this is uphill as well as all of this area over here. And every time it rains, as you can imagine, all of the water is coming and all being sent right here into this drain right here. So once again, the water is coming right down in here, and then that water is being channeled into a creek that runs along the back side of this house. But just imagine whenever you've got a footprint right over there of that house, how much deeper that footprint is inside the ground compared to the ground level of this right here. And what happens is all the water that is not traveling atop the surface and being caught by this drain, it was going underneath that house, and you wouldn't believe the water problems that my buddy Jeff was battling. I mean, right now, guys, in this drain right here, look how much water is flowing through this drain. It hasn't rained in days and water is still flowing through there like crazy. I mean, guys, after a heavy rain, water will be flowing through that drain system right there for up to 2 weeks. That's how much water is draining down from that ridge right there, guys. And man, he had already had a company. You're not going to believe this, but he's seen a pretty little picture. It was an ad on Facebook, and a lot of you guys are seeing pretty little ads on Facebook where these companies will get a real pretty picture, they'll make an ad about it, throw $1,000 on that ad, and try to hook everybody that they can on that ad. Look at this pretty picture we took. Look at this pretty picture we took. Well, you guys just sit tight and stay tuned to everything that I'm about to show you, because I'm going to show every one of you watching right now what one of them pretty little pictures will get you. And it ain't going to be one of them pretty little pictures like you expecting to see. I mean, all of this that you see right here, guys, was complete mud. And before I even go inside that crawl space entry real quick, take a look at what we were up against when we first got under here just a few short weeks ago. And along with the moisture problems that you're all getting ready to see in these upcoming photos, I think it'd be a good time to let all of you watching know these photos like to have never gotten taken. You see, whenever I pulled up on the job site the morning to do the inspection, I seen a truck in the driveway, and I seen a crew of men out there working. And I didn't know what that crew of men was there to work on, what they were doing, or whatever. But I knew that my buddy Jeff had fired the company from Atlanta just like the day before or whatever it was. And whenever I pulled up and seen that truck, I just assumed that that was that company. So I'm going to let all of you watching know something else as well. I'm not the guy that you want to have show up to have debate questions regarding these crawl space problems. I do not and am not concerned with any opinions from any other company that you can spout off any name that you want to mention. And that goes for whoever's listening. We've been doing this stuff more years than I can count. We've got monitor systems in more houses than I could even name. And I'm going to tell you something right now. When you've been proving everything over and over and over again via trial and error, and you got proof after proof after proof of what you're doing is helping homeowners and fixing problems the way they need to be fixed, then let me tell you all, listen close. You won't give a crap neither about anybody else's opinions, just like I don't. But lucky for my buddy Jeff, that wasn't that crew that was over there in that truck. That was actually a hardwood flooring crew that I didn't have any quarrels with, and I was able to come over there and successfully do my inspection and get all these before photos for Jeff and all you guys watching as well. And you see, when Jeff and them bought this house here a few months ago, they expected to have to do a little bit of work to it, but they had no idea what kind of problems lied ahead of them. And now, guys, you can see a whole lot better than you could before because I had my father-in-law, William Austin, come under here and install lighting throughout this entire crawl space, just like we do in our encapsulation projects. However, on this project right here, we did not go ahead and do a full encapsulation at this time. We had to address the drainage problem at hand because, guys, water was coming inside this crawl space like crazy, damaging the foundation, damaging the floors, and I'll show you guys a lot more of that as we go throughout the tour. And as I'm positioned here in the center of this first crawl space now, you'll quickly notice that it looks way different than it did a few weeks ago. There is now a full inside perimeter French drain going all the way around the inside perimeter of this particular crawl space, all leading right over there to our basin. And everything's starting to look really clean under here now. But guys, I'm telling all of you watching right now, you should have seen all this just a few short days ago. Because just a few short days ago, Drew Burt was up there slaving away. Look at how much dirt they've created going along this trench. And we've got my little cousin Cole right here making the new basin pit where the new sump pump's going to be located in this second crawl space, going ahead and sending that water on outside where it's no longer a problem underneath this crawl space. And what I want everyone to take notice of right now is how Drew is digging down below the current ground level of the crawl space. You see, most homeowners are only aware of water that they can visibly see. And the majority of the water that causes the problems inside these crawl space situations is due to water that is traveling below the surface of the ground that you would never see unless you are doing as Cole and Drew are doing right now and creating this trench that water is now falling into. And you can see how much water is starting to accumulate right here where Cole is getting ready to put our new sump pump basin. And you see, when my buddy Jeff fired the company from Atlanta last week, they had told Jeff that they were going to put a drain line all the way down this back wall, all the way down that front wall, all the way down this side wall right here, all leading right over here to their basin. But let's take a look at what they actually did. So if we go along the bottom of this foundation wall, Drew, can you hold up the end of that pipe? So guys, less than 20 feet down from my right is where they started their pipe right there, and that runs right here into this basin. And you remember this drain line that they said was going to go up this wall and all the way down that front wall? Well, that line itself goes about 7 feet over to right here and stops. So when we dig our trenches down, we line them with our drainage fabric first and then put in our perforated pipe with filter sock, then backfill over all that with gravel, fold our flaps down of our drainage fabric and put gravel back over that. You can see right here what most companies do. If you're lucky enough to get a piece of crap company to even use a perforated pipe with a filter sock, they're never ever going to be putting any drainage fabric down. Look at all that mud right there. They've just sprinkled gravel on the top. And then where they half-assed this job for my buddy Jeff and just stopped that drain line right there in an attempt to fool him in case he ever got under here to check this work, they sprinkled gravel all the way down through there, which is exactly what Drew was just detailing to me. What do you think about that quality of work from that company in Atlanta there, brother?
Pretty good stuff.
About as good as all them we've seen in North Carolina, ain't it? Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a complete transformation coming your way here very soon. And on top of all these drainage issues that we're correcting right now, Jeff has also been wanting us to check out all this flooring, which we couldn't see all of it until all the insulation was down. And now that the majority of it's down, take a look at what Drew is showing me. Dang, man, you're doing that with ease too. You're not even straining at all, are you? Wow, that's crazy. So we're going to put a game plan together, guys, about bracing all these up down through here and down through here properly as they should have been when all of this was originally constructed. So, if you're foolish enough to believe every one of them Facebook ads that you see out there that's trying to grab every penny they can out of your wallet, then go ahead and be sold by them fancy pictures. If you want the real deal and you want a real service with real results, then just pay attention to crawlspaceartist.com. Talking about some serious work, guys. Drew and Cole have been over here for over 3 weeks busting their friggin' butts, guys. This place, I mean, I'm the only one really that's seen it in its full capacity. I was the one under here crawling through all that falling down insulation. And man, seeing it right now, even not even being fully encapsulated, just having the new 6mm ground barrier down here with all the drainage system in place, completely different environment. And as we continue moving forward here into the original crawl space of the home, keep in mind, all of that we just came through was an addition that was added to the home at a later date. But in here, just like you seen a few moments ago, there's that basin, and all of that water is being sent out to the outside culvert, as well as the water that's being captured over there in that sump pump basin. Remember, in the previous clip that you saw moments ago, the previous company that was here before us had about a 7-foot long drain line coming out of the side of that basin and about 25 feet of drain line going down this wall right here. However, also keep in mind that this homeowner was sold and told that that drain line was going to go all the way down this back wall, all the way down that front wall, and all the way down that side wall. Well, they didn't do anything near what they said they were going to do, and that's why he had to fire them 3 days into their tenure on this project, and while we were hired to come in and save the day just like we do time and time again. And now, not only does he actually have a full inside perimeter drain line going down this full back wall, it's going down this whole wall and around this entire foundation of this house and both of these crawl spaces. And it ain't just a pipe with a filter sock around it. No, 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 no. That trench is dug down deep. That trench is then lined with our special drainage fabric. Then our perforated pipe with the filter sock goes inside that trench line. Once that is inside there, we begin backfilling with our gravel that you see here. We then fold our flaps over the top of that of our drainage fabric and continue putting another layer of gravel here on top of those flaps. And guys, once you've done it to that perfection level, you have now ensured that the life of your French drain is going to be well extended past the expected lifetime that any other company in the French drain business is out there installing today. Having to crawl down low here to get under these duct lines, you know that ain't no thing for the champ, baby. I want you to look too. Got to give a big shout out to Lucas Brown. That's got to be the cleanest haircut anyone has ever had inside of a crawl space foundation. And not only is that French drain line going all the way around the inside perimeter of this home's foundation, like I mentioned a few seconds ago. Now guys, he's got this brand new 6mm ground barrier going throughout both crawl spaces as well. And whenever Jeff gets ready to get all the remaining encapsulation work completed, now guys, we'll come back in here and go right over the top of all this new 6mm with our 20mm poly. And speaking of vapor barrier and keeping moisture out, look how much moisture is on the bottom of this poly here. And keep in mind, this poly hasn't even been here but about 48 hours. Look, I just wiped all that off right there. That's how much moisture is coming up out of this ground, guys. And if you don't have something stopping that moisture right there that I just wiped off onto my hand, that moisture is going to go up into your subflooring and cause some of the problems that we'll talk about once we get over there onto that other side. We don't do any chemical treatments here at Tennessee Technicians, but once we got all the crawl space cleaned out and all the existing insulation removed, we have a guy that comes in and does a full sporicidin treatment to all of the existing wood and subflooring underneath these homes. And in my opinion, guys, I believe sporicidin is the best chemical that you can buy to go under here and treat your homes with. For all of you guys that are buying used homes, and maybe you've gone inside the crawl space to do a little inspection work of your own, you've already seen and witnessed things that your so-called home inspector never told you anything about. So I want to give you guys all a few tips on a couple things to look for whenever you're inspecting underneath a crawl space yourself. Look at these homemade jacks right here. You see these wooden 4x4s that people have gone in here and tried to make somewhat of a pier? Look how they've got the 6x6 up here on top of that. Anytime you see where someone or some company has come under here and done their best to make a DIY support system right here. That should always be a dead giveaway to all of you watching that the home that you're looking at has a moisture problem. How do I know that? Well, because when a home has a moisture problem, if it's not addressed, these floors overhead, they're going to continue to weaken. The hardwood flooring upstairs, that stuff will all buck up. And people that don't know any better, they're going to come under here and do everything they can to start supporting floors in hopes that that's going to correct their problem. Well, guys, take a look at this right here. This is the wrong way to do it. What you got to do, you need to pour a concrete footer first and foremost. Then whenever you get your jack support, that needs to be a jack that can be actually jacked up and down. And then whenever you get, this is great right here to do the 6x6 up top. You can go ahead and mount this to all your boards. And then you need to have your jacks come up to join the bottom of this. And that's what you got to use to level it and get your leveling correct. Whenever you come under here with these 4x4s, you can't level anything, guys. You just got to beat it in place and hope that you got it right and hope that it's going to do what you wanted it to do whenever you installed it. But I'm here to tell you that's not right. And that's one of the things that Jeff and I have got to address right here coming up, is how to come under here and get rid of all this half-ass wannabe pier work and come under here and strengthen up these floors the proper way as they should have been strengthened up to begin with. And all that outside drainage water that I showed you while I was standing in the road, I told you it was all coming straight towards the front of this house. Here is some of the remnants and ramifications of what has happened due to all that water flow. It has completely destroyed the interior foundation of this home, and Jeff's already had to have a company come in here and install these steel support columns in hopes of keeping that foundation wall back in its original placement. And all of this inside perimeter French drain work, guys, and both of those sump pumps discharging the water out from under this house, all of that was done to correct the actual standing water issues inside this crawl space. Listen close, guys. Standing water issues and the moisture within this air right here that you and I cannot visibly see with our own two eyes, those are two totally different projects. And what you see us doing here and what we have done, that has corrected once again the standing water problem that this crawl space was experiencing. But as far as the moisture that is still in the air, I went ahead and went above and beyond. Jeff doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and install 2 of our monitor systems, one inside here, one inside that other crawl space, to give Jeff and his wife an accurate reading of the humidity levels inside this crawl space. Keep in mind, guys, and other homeowners, in the cooler months of the year, like right here in December, when it's cold outside, the humidity in the air is going to go down naturally. But in the summer months, I mean, look how much moisture is underneath this plastic already. These moisture levels inside these crawl spaces here in Cleveland and Chattanooga, Tennessee, they will be above 80% moisture. Once we get done doing all of our encapsulation work that you always see us doing at crawlspaceartist.com, artist is plural, those moisture levels inside these crawl spaces will stay below 50% year round. As a matter of fact, that is the detective, that monitor system. I tell every homeowner, once we finish the encapsulation work, listen, if you see that monitor telling you that that crawl space is above 50% humidity, go ahead and pick up the phone and call me, because something ain't right. I don't know what it is, don't know if you've got a plumbing leak, don't know if the dehumidifier maybe froze up or what, but something ain't right, because as long as our system is running and functioning properly, moisture levels once again will be below 50% year-round on any of our crawl space encapsulation projects you see us doing here at crawlspaceartist.com. Look at all those wannabe piers, guys. We've got to address all of that. And Jeff, you were told, man, that you were going to have an inside perimeter drain line all along the front of this home whenever you hired that other company. Of course, you only had about 7 feet coming out of the basin, but as you can see, as I'm pointing out right now, now you've got it, like I've already mentioned, man, not just down this wall, not just all the way down that other wall, but all the way throughout your entire crawl space, the way it should be whenever any of you homeowners watching are considering getting some of this work done to correct moisture problems and drainage water problems inside your own crawl space. Because if you aren't going to do it right, guys, as you already seen in the before pictures, don't waste your time and money even doing any of it at all. All right, let's get down here on our belly one more time. See if we can squeeze under this. Now, see, guys, This is what makes it so challenging. Whenever you're crawling under obstacles like I'm crawling under right now, guys, this drain line still has to go down through here. Guys, this drain line and rock all has to be completed just like all the rest. And all that rock, you want to know how much rock we had to put under this house? Almost 16,000 pounds. You heard me right, guys. Almost 16,000 pounds of drainage gravel, all drug in by hand, each in individual bags by Drew and Cole. And now you got you a real inside perimeter French drain, just like you was hoping to have whenever you hired that company to start with. And I hate that you had to find out the hard way, brother, but I'm also glad that you got the opportunity to work with a real company and real people that actually care about their customers and the kind of work that we put out here, just like we do on every single project you see us attaching our name to here at Tennessee Technicians. So for all of you watching at home or wherever you may be, if you're a homeowner and you own a home with a crawlspace foundation and you're battling moisture, you're battling standing water, you just looked under this house you just bought, man, there's insulation hanging everywhere. You're trying to walk across your floors, they're hopping like a friggin' trampoline. We can fix all that stuff for you. And when I tell you we can fix it, I mean we can fix it. I ain't trying to just sell you something to get you to let me come over there and try to just take a check out of your friggin' checkbook. I could care less about that. If you got a real problem and you want it really taken care of, I'm your guy. We're your company. We're who you want to call. If you're one of them people that's trying to get something done as cheap as you can get it done, you don't care what it looks like, you ain't even concerned with going under there and laying eyeballs on what they did yourself, listen, don't even bother wasting your time calling me. Because if you want to dial up 423-503-0512, you're going to find out real quick. If you want me to come over to your house, it's a $250 consultation fee. And if you don't want to pay that consultation fee and you don't like the sound of that, guess what? That's exactly what that consultation's for. It's those people just like you. That consultation fee goes 100% towards your project. You don't pay us a penny of that project until we're finished. And like I said, if you don't understand a real company, whenever you heard what I just said right then, you don't deserve to have us no way. And if you want that problem taken care of better than any company you could have ever had come out there and take care of that problem for you, you know who to call. You've been seeing us doing it over and over and over, and you're going to see it again here in just a week or so. So stay tuned. Now that we got all that behind us, guys, if any of you have any nuisance wildlife problems, squirrels have been getting in people's houses like crazy now that it's getting cooler. Happens to us every year. Go ahead and visit us online at clevelandtnwildliferemoval.com. Got any stumps in your yard? Need to get them taken care of? You can visit us online at clevelandtnstumpgrinding.com. As you already know, guys, for all of your water feature needs, I'm getting ready to go in here now and talk to Jeff about a rainwater harvest capture system. We got it all taken care of for you at pondartist.com. And guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time. And I can't wait to talk to each and every single one of you inside that next video.